Okay, today we're going to talk about vibrato and bending technique and what I think are the important components of that. And number one, I think you strive to get the technique down so you don't even think about it. So when you're playing lead, it's just an extension of your personality or your emotions that you might be feeling at the time when you're playing. And if anybody that is watching this has ever been to that place where you're completely not even in your body, it feels like you've gone away from yourself, especially in a live situation. It's a special feeling that it's almost like a drug. That's what keeps me playing music and trying to play out. And also, I can feel the same thing sometimes when I'm just playing here and doing some recording. It's hard to come to that state when you're trying to do some commentary and talk about your playing, but hopefully I can convey some of the feeling that I like and enjoy too while I'm playing. But vibrato and bending really brings emotion into your playing, and it's vital, I think, for blues players. Not that I have anything against the shredder or such, because I think there's a place for that. But in expressive playing, bending and vibrato is a great tool to help you paint the picture you're trying to paint in a piece that you might be writing, or just in a live situation, because typically you're playing off the cuff in that case. At least that's the way I do it. And it's just pure emotion and just let yourself go. So anyway, I'm going to show a few techniques here. First will be B.B. King style vibrato, which is a quicker vibrato. And he pivots, I believe, with his thumb here. Should be able to do that with every finger. And if you notice, I play, I guess, the baseball bat grip style of playing. This is a 57 style neck on an 83 Stratocaster, and it's a fairly good sized neck, and the shape of it lends for this thumb over playing, which I've pretty much predominantly played this way over the last maybe 10 years of playing. I used to play like this, with my thumb positioned on the back, but I found that trying to chord going into lead was a quicker transition from here to lead and rhythm than it is when my hands are like this. I have a better control, I feel, over my vibrato. So B.B. King has a quicker vibrato. I just saw him a few years back in Hagerstown, Maryland, in a really cool old theater, and he was put on probably the best show I've ever seen. He's such an entertainer, even at his age, when he sits down and plays and such. Anyway, then you have other styles that are slower. You have a push, I call it, where you're pushing the string up. And then you have a pull, which gives you a little bit more power. If any of you are fans of somebody like Albert King, he played upside down, and he pulled really hard for his big bends. And you can get more when you're pulling than you can normally when you're pushing. It depends on what you worked and how strong your hands are. It's good to be able to have the muscle memory to do both, push and pull. That was very difficult, I think, if I remember right, when I first started playing, to get the push, to get the intonation right. It's important to be able to do your vibrato on call or on command in any position, at any time, and any finger, because you don't know when your body's going to ask it, or your brain, or wherever this emotion comes from when you're playing lead. You don't know where it's going to come from or when it's going to ask for it, but you want to be ready and have the muscle memory to do it. When I play, I really don't even know I don't think about it at all anytime. I was classically trained as a musician for about 12 years through my teens and early 20s, and so I learned how to read and write music. But the entire time I've been playing guitar, I made it a point to not learn any music, hardly any theory. I know the neck and such and notes and things, but I don't think of the guitar in that term. And I think it gives me a freedom to be able to just play. Of course, I'll make mistakes because I'm not as calculated as I would be if I was playing another instrument, brass or whatever it might be. But I think I can impose more or inject more emotion into playing that way. My personal opinion. And when I teach, I kind of give that same philosophy to a student I might have. So you got your B.B. King style, fast, it's like this. It's more of a pull, but it's real tight. And then you have your push and your pull. They sound similar, but you can tell they impart a different tonal quality. Keep in mind at all times to use your ears, listen for the notes, listen for what's wrong and what's right, and try to adjust your intonation as you're playing to match whatever note you might be going to. I've many times been in the wrong position in the heat of the moment and bent the note up to where it was in pitch just to save my ass, excuse my French. But having that ability really helps out when you're playing live. And the average retention of a live audience is pretty short. So if you can quickly make that change and adjust your pitch in the lead, trust me, they won't catch it. Only people like us who are guitar players are going to catch it, but the general audience normally won't pick it up. But if you're like me and you're watching a guitar player, you're zoned in, you hear every little thing he does because you're trying to pick up. I know when I was younger, we used to do a lot of cutting heads where we'd play against each other, and I can remember how intense I was watching other players. But anyway, so there's some vibrato. You can also do bending and a vibrato and holding another note where I guess you can play it this way. You can do multi-string vibrato. Just remember, vibrato is all about emotion, and it's all about injecting some kind of feel into your lead playing. Today, I had a question of what I was playing. This is my '83 Fender Stratocaster. It's got a 57 style neck on it. It's kind of good size for grabbing in the baseball bat style playing that I do. And I'm playing through my older model Fender DeVille. Older meaning I think maybe the 2000s, early 2000s I believe. It's not one of the newer models. And today I'm just using a little bit of drive on the drive channel so I can get a little bit more sustain. Thank you. Have a great day.